we got a few teams every single season that makes a leap. Like team that leaps from the bottom of the conference to the top, or, you know, that type of thing where you kind of see them coming. In a lot of cases, you don't see them coming. Like last year, the Pacers weren't even in the play-in, and they were hovering near the top of the Eastern Conference till the end of the season. And then, you know, the injuries caught up with them, but they made a run to the conference finals, got swept by Boston. Orlando went from all the way at the bottom, basically the 13th seed, to being one of the best defensive teams, having Paulo Banchero as that scoring option, going to the 5th seed, right? Dallas lost all those games toward the end of the season after the trade deadline the year before, just so they could keep their draft pick. They got Derek Lively with that top 10 pick. He was a huge reason why they made a run to the NBA Finals. Not asking if there's a team that's going to make a run to the conference finals, but is there a team that you think that will rise from the ashes of the bottom of a particular conference and be a bona fide playoff team?
Yes. I think the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm a huge Ja Morant fan, personally.
You hang out with him?
No. Fan. I'm a fan, not a friend. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Ja. I'm happy that he's healthy and back. Zach Edey, who has looked good in preseasons.
Yes, he has.
Yep, he has looked very good in preseason ball. I think him paired with Ja, the pace that they're going to play at is something that, you know, their head coach, Taylor Jenkins, has talked a ton about, them wanting to play faster, hoping that in an 82-game season, that when other people get tired and run down towards that last third of the season, their pace is something that can take them through. And they have, you know, Marcus Smart, 10-year vet. You need vets in order to win. You got to teach the young guys how to do it. Mm-hmm. I think that they have a chance. I like the makeup of the team. I like the mindset. I like the idea that they want to play fast. And so that would be my team. I don't think they're necessarily a rise from the ashes. Like if we're looking at, you know, the teams and some of the teams that have fallen at the bottom, Western Conference, I feel like you could pick them easily, right? And you just need 1 to stay healthy, 2 for Ja to stay on the court and do what he's supposed to do.
Just off Instagram. That's all. Stay away from shotgun
I do
willies.
Media training, you know, with players. And like, this is my rule of thumb. Ready social media. If you wouldn't say it or do it in front of your grandmother, why say it to the rest of the world? Like, I have the coolest grandmother of all time. Like, we do wine night on Fridays. I hang out with her on the patio. She's from Camden, New Jersey. If you know anything about Camden, New Jersey, you probably have a decent picture. Like, I have a very cool grandmother. But it's a ton of stuff that I would not say or do in front of her, you know? And if I wouldn't, I wouldn't then put them things on social media for that to be comfortable. So I'm sure he's gotten all the training and all the thoughts. But in case he needed any more advice, hope you see this, because we need you to stay on the court. We like watching you play.
Well, I mean, look, I am a younger grandson of a grandmother. So my grandmother was definitely more of the old school type. Yeah. So let's just say if she heard me cussing on the podcast, she'd be like, she'd call me first and middle name, which I will not say on this here, on this apparatus. She would call me first. It's
like worse than the government. Middle. First and middle? That's worse than the government. Middle. My grandmother never said my middle name.
that'd be the worst. Your grandmother call you first and middle. You'd be like, man, all right, what I do now?
Vincent Bernard.
Oh my God, no, hell no. Thank goodness about Bernard. Good grief.
Oh my goodness.
Ain't no Bernards here. Thank the good Lord, right? Like seriously.
You have a decent middle name then? You have a decent middle name?
No, I hate my middle name, which is why I'm not revealing it. I hate it. His name Bernard.
What is up with people not liking their middle names? I don't get it.
There are people I know who love their middle name so much that is their name.
Okay. I have a few. I know people like that, but it's normally when their first name is basic and they're named after somebody else. So it's like Tom, but Tom likes the middle name of, you know?
Yeah. Nah, I don't. Well, I'm named after somebody, which I tell my mama all the time, like, bro, you couldn't have pulled rank on this and gave me something original. Like, you had to name me after somebody whose parents were born in Mobile, Alabama. So you can damn near guess what my middle name is. Like, it's going to be something reasonably country, right? That's what, like, like, once again, if your name is Ja, chances are you were born in South Carolina, right?
Facts.
But back to the lecture at hand, Ice. Memphis is my pick, too. Ja only played 9 games last year. There was a 25-game suspension. Then he played the 9 games. And then he got hurt with the shoulder injury. They were 6-3 in those 9 games. Like, they made a lot of personnel moves heading into last season. Remember, Drew Holiday wasn't there, but it was a 3-team trade that wound up netting the Memphis Grizzlies Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart only played 20 games for them last year. Desmond Bane only played 42 games for them last year. You brought up Zach Edey, which is a product of having the 9th pick in the draft in a season in which you finished 27-55. So yeah, I think you're right about them not rising from the ashes, because just a couple of years ago, Ja Morant was saying, I'm fine in the West. Only thing I'm worried about is Boston or whatever team, or Milwaukee or whatever team that he said. He said, I'm fine in the West. And then his life spiraled like after that. But on the floor, he is spellbinding. Like on the floor, he gets to the basket. He gets fouled, which contributes to the injuries. I wonder what type of 3-point shooter he's going to be. Like, shoulder injuries, we don't think of as being devastating. But you mentioned Paul George in 2018-19. That was, I believe, the year where Paul George was very close. Like, I think he was top 3 in MVP voting. And then he hurt his shoulder. And it took him a long time, almost a full season, to get back to being Paul George, or the best version of Paul George. Ja Morant had a shoulder injury. I wonder if it's going to be that. That's the only thing that sort of stops me or gives me some level of pause is, are shoulder injuries not giving the respect that they deserve with you know what I mean, with these things? Jaren Jackson Jr., like, I think they have a well-built team. I just think they had a bad year last year. I do like Taylor Jenkins as a head coach. I still think they're young enough. Like, I thought about picking the San Antonio Spurs because you got Chris Paul over there and you got the extraterrestrial Victor Wembanyama, and you have someone who can give him the ball when the Spurs didn't even have anything close to a point guard last year, where you had all those dudes trying to get theirs and trying to prove that the Spurs were not a one-man team, and all they showed was Victor Wembanyama is the best player on this team. Like, that was the weird thing for me. I'm just not sure how healthy Chris Paul is going to be this season, because he's 40 years old, and we legit have no archetype. And John just guessed my middle name in the chat. I hate you, John. Or John just pulled up like my personnel file or something like that. I can't believe that. I can't believe I actually stopped my train of thought to see what that was. I thought that was impertinent information. And here I hear spout my government name. How dare you?
First of all, John, you missed the group chat. Resend that in the group chat. I didn't get that one. Now I feel excluded. Dang.
Nope. John, if you just sent it to ICE, yeah. You better not have. Hey, who sends you good tequila at the end of every calendar year? That's your boy. Thank you, John. Appreciate that.